So this is a very personal practice for me. When I was a middle schooler, it's really kind of mind-blowing to even think about this. When I was in middle school, so for those of folks who middle school doesn't resonate, because maybe that's not what it's called in your country, I'd say I was like 11, 12, something around there, 12, 13 years old. I should go back and figure out how old I was exactly. But I was an exchange student in Russia and the Ukraine. And I was traveling with my band. So I played my instrument. I played the flute. I still play once in a while, but not as actively as I did then. And we started in Russia, and we traveled throughout Russia playing our instruments. And then we ultimately landed in Kiev in Ukraine. And that's where I landed with my host family, who was just this beautiful family. My host sister, Zhenya, spoke English. The rest of the family, not so much. And so our primary communication was through Zhenya translating or energy. We were just expressing our energy, through how we're making hand gestures and smiling. And I must say that while I didn't obviously know everything that was being said during our conversations around the table and when they took me out, I always felt love. And then a few months later, Zhenya came to the U.S. and stayed with my family in Baltimore, in Maryland, here in the U.S. And so it was so interesting because a huge part of that experience was learning about the customs and traditions before going and being respectful and learning how to be a good ambassador for the U.S., learning about a lot of the stereotypes and unfortunate truths that oftentimes happen. And it's an experience where I'll just never forget it. I'll just never forget it. I'm seeing Jocelyn saying that she lost sound. Can others hear me? I just want to make sure before I continue down. If you can hear me, just let me know in the chat. Okay, glad to know that. Jocelyn, perhaps leave and come back. That may be helpful. So looking back, like my adult self, looking back on this time, it's like, oh my gosh, wow. I'm super proud of that little girl who went to Russia and Ukraine as an exchange student and did it with like enthusiasm and excitement. And it was during a time, this is dating me, but I know probably most of you can relate to this perhaps. There was no internet. There was no internet when I was in middle school, at least not anything that the general public had access to. And it was an experience that we lost touch, right? We lost touch. And then just a few months ago, Zhenya found me on Facebook. And she started sending me all these pictures of us together from middle school and said, "Is this you? Is this you? I hope this is you. I'd love to reconnect." So for about 7 months now, Zhenya and I have been talking very regularly and more frequently in the past few weeks as I became more concerned and know what was going on. And she was constantly giving me updates about, no need to worry. We have a place to go. We're going to go to Estonia or Poland, but we don't feel the need to leave yet. And having these checks and updates with her. And most recently, she and her children were able to find a place to be in Poland, but her husband is back because of the need for men to stay behind and fight. And it's just surreal. It's surreal. It's hard to believe. It's difficult to process. And yet, what else are we here to do? What else can we do? Right? And so the reason that I put together this live today, really quite last minute compared to the regular Monday and Friday sessions that I have here on Permission to Be Human, I just was like, what can I do? And Jenya just keeps saying, pray. And so I thought, not only can I pray, but I can invite this beautiful divine community here on Insight Timer to join in that process. And I know for a fact that there are so many of us who are doing this, right? There's so many teachers here on Insight Timer who are leading divine practices. There's no such thing as too much. There's no such thing as sending too much love. There's no such thing as being too present. There's no such thing as caring, to a place that you want to channel that into aligned action, right? Into aligned action. And one of the things, Pete, thank you so much for your donation. One of the things I want to make sure I make clear today for this session, and if this community would like me to continue to do these sessions as we move through this experience in the world together, please know that whenever these sessions are happening, I'm going to donate all of the donations that come my way directly to folks on the ground in Kiev. Kiev is where I was living. And there's actually an orphanage there that works specifically with children who have aged out of the orphanage systems and care. And that is something that I'm really, as a foster parent here in Baltimore, that's also very, very, very close to my heart in knowing, even without a war going on, how much those services and supports are needed. And one of my dear friends, her child was adopted from this orphanage. And so there's a lot of personal connection here that I just am looking forward to spreading more of this love and impact together in the world. Oh, yeah. I'm just reading some of these comments. Rose, thank you. Yeah. Yes, we do. We need to come together. And we're doing that, right? We're doing that right now. Thank you for your donation, Rose. This is an experience where I've never led a global prayer meditation before. And I got to tell you, I was like, how am I going to do this? What does this look like? What does this mean? Right? And so I was so grateful that I attend Michael Bernard Beckwith's Agape Live sessions every Sunday. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Agape Live. It's on the website, or Michael Bernard Beckwith. I'd love to know. Do you follow him? I'd love to know in the chat if you do, or maybe you haven't heard of him. So thank you, Mary. That's such a gift. I would appreciate that very much. So when I was listening to his live on Sunday, which is essentially my version of going to church, it's non-denominational. Wonderful, Melinda. He is amazing. I don't know if you tuned in yesterday. I was actually going to play what he shared over my speaker, but I'm not feeling called to do that now in real time. I have it all set up and ready to go. What I'm going to do rather is send a link to it. I have a group here called Permission to Be Human. If you join the Permission to Be Human group, I'm going to post a link so you can watch the whole session if you want, and I'll do the time markers, what I was going to play today. It's about 10 minutes long, but I'd like us to move into practice sooner than that. So Please join the group, what used to be called Circles, Permission to be Human, if you're interested in both listening to this deeper practice that really was so helpful for me in my own inner journey. So helpful, so needed, so necessary to hear it. Because what he talked about in the session was this idea that prayer and meditation changes the world. And that the reason that you are feeling the need for something to be different, for something to change, is because you were sent here to do that. That is a sign that you're a light worker. That is a sign that those feelings of unease and unrest are here to give you a message to take action. And the action is profound when we meditate in community and when we meditate within. Because what happens is when we go into these practices of cleansing, of clearing, of grounding, of purposefully sending our energy to those in need, we have this incredible opportunity to change the world. And I'll share some of this in the group as well, because again, I'd like to get us started in this practice momentarily. But there is so much research and science that backs this up. If you would have asked me this maybe 10 years ago before I started meditating, I would have said, well, that's a nice thing to think to yourself. But there is scientific research and data that proves that violence, terrorism, crime are all reduced when we come together and shift our energy, when we change the frequency of our vibrations that are going out into the world. We have no idea how far those reach. And when we can be a vessel of love and light and possibility for peace, we are doing something. We are being a part of the solution. We are channeling those feelings of uncertainty and sadness into something productive and meaningful. And so I want you to know that that's what we're going to be doing together today in this practice. And should this be something that the community says, I'd like to do it again afterwards, I'll check in. I would be more than happy to get a rotation of these practices going as well, knowing there are obviously many teachers who are providing this opportunity. I'm providing this opportunity on a very personal level because this is what my heart told me. This is what my heart asked me to do. And I have a feeling your heart asked you to do the same, or you wouldn't be here now. So in this practice, really, again, the intention of our time together is to ground in ourselves, right? To ground in this opportunity for peace within, so that is an authentic emanation out. And that we will be the light warriors in this time of spreading this possibility of peace to others. We often take for granted the difference that one person can make. There's 43 of us in here now, and I know for a fact we're going to have at least double of that by the time we complete. Because this is such a beautiful, profound, amazing community here on Insight Timer. And I am so grateful to have this opportunity because honestly, for me, I have been having a big inner tug of war around all of this. What can I actually do? I have these amazing things happening in my life. Am I allowed to be happy about them? Right? And recognizing this duality that exists in all of these moments. We can be at the exact same time joyful and very sorrowful when we look at different parts of what's going on in the world. And so my invitation is for all of us here and for you as an individual to come into stillness, to come into peace within, so that we can continue those ripple effects in our communities, and specifically sending it to those in Ukraine who need it so much in this moment. So let's practice. Wherever you are, just start to get in tune with your body. Maybe you want to roll your neck, your shoulders, your wrists. Thank you, Sangha. I appreciate that. Just really tune in with your body, just saying, hey, we're here together. And let's also begin, if you haven't started yet, really begin to allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling so it can move through you and then be channeled for good and not get stuck inside. Maybe you want to give yourself a little twist, with your ankles. And when you're ready, close your eyes or gaze down. Just come to stillness, ensuring that your legs and your arms are uncrossed. Let's just begin by grounding in our bodies, elongating our breath, even if it's just a little bit longer than your natural breath. Noticing your rib cage as it expands and contracts. Noticing your belly rise and fall with each breath. And starting at the top of your head, beginning to just bring awareness into your face on anywhere that you are holding on to tension. What often happens in these moments of crisis is we hold on to the stress in our bodies, and it takes over our well-being. And so when we can bring awareness to where we may be holding on, we can lovingly choose to return back to inner harmony and peace within. In the same way, we hope to see that reflected in the world. We start with ourselves. So noticing where you can soften around your eyes, your jaw, perhaps even your forehead. And as you continue with your elongating breath, use the power of your exhale to release. To feel yourself just dropping anything within that isn't serving you, while also giving yourself full permission to feel whatever you're feeling and not needing to change that. Just being aware of it. Now scanning down through your neck and your shoulders. Just feeling your shoulders drop, even if just a little bit. down through your chest and back, continuing to make whatever adjustments feel good so that your body is operating from a place of peace within. Continuing down through your seat and your legs. Notice anywhere you may be clenching that you can let go. Any place within yourself that you're creating a war that you can be aware of and ignite peace. Making your way all the way down to your feet. Really feeling yourself grounded in this present moment. With the support of this gravitational pull. Really feel that moving through your feet, keeping you steady, keeping you well. And now I invite you to make a choice. If you'd like to join me on your next inhale, you can bring your hands to your heart center. Begin to really connect with the beating of your heart. Is it beating faster than normal? Slower? Maybe it's at its peaceful cadence. Really tuning in. I'm noticing that my heart is beating quickly, and I know that's because of my emotions in this moment, and so I'm going to intentionally breathe in through my nose and send my breath to my heart as if I can see almost like a line moving through my nostrils, down through my throat, into my lungs, and straight to my heart. Really letting her know that we're in this together. Knowing my heart is the keeper of my values, my beliefs, my emotions, and it is always here for me to serve me, bringing myself back into the present moment. Knowing that our hearts only beat right now, not in the future, not in the past. Connecting with this queen that lives inside of your chest, always serving you to understand what are you being called towards. Where can you turn on your heart and step forward in aligned action for love, peace, for light and possibility within yourself and within this world. And you can choose if you'd like to keep your hands on your heart or release them at this point. And let's just continue with these long, deep breaths. And repeating to yourself, I breathe in peace. I breathe out love. I breathe in peace. I breathe out love. I breathe in peace. I breathe out love. Now continue with that repetition at whatever pace serves you. Really feeling the feelings, bringing in that possibility into your vessel, into your body, into this keeper of your soul. Breathing in the peace and sending out love. And should you feel called, you can keep your hand on your heart or perhaps even move into a prayer position, whatever serves you best in feeling the most aligned with your values. Let us come into this energy and mindset of prayer. And as we continue to breathe in peace and breathe out love, let us now direct those feelings specifically to the people of Ukraine. Let us direct this love and light towards healing. and allow us from all over the world to join together in prayer, in raising the frequency of peace within ourselves, so that that frequency travels beyond any borders or distance than we could possibly imagine. I pray that the people of Ukraine are able to find their peace and no longer need to suffer at the hands of war. I pray that the people of Russia recognize the injustices and make new choices towards love, towards harmony, towards brother and sisterhood. I pray for all of the brave souls who are standing up in Russia and saying, this is not who they are. And I pray for all of those who continue to shelter for safety and those who are on the front lines fighting for their country and freedom in Ukraine. I pray that they find peace and healing in this time of incredible uncertainty. I pray that they have what they need to find their inner resilience and strength they continue to show us they have. And I pray for every soul who is a part of this experience in this moment, right here and right now, and far beyond, knowing that together we can go within and create peace in our own lives that ultimately impacts all of the lives we touch and far beyond our wildest imaginations of where it can reach. Continuing now with your long, deep breaths. Let us now envision as if this beautiful, bright, white light is coming up through the soles of your feet, flooding your body almost as if it's a liquid form, up through your feet, your ankles, your shins, your calves, seeing it make its way up and collecting anything in you that's not there to serve you along the way. Just immediately neutralizing any part of you that could benefit from that light. Moving all the way up now through your knees and your thighs. Continuing to see this light grow with each inhale. It expands inside of you. growing now through your seat and your back, your belly. Seeing this bright light just continuing to expand, making its way through your hands, your wrists, your forearms, your shoulders, all the way through your torso. Feeling it now surrounding your heart, just creating this beautiful, bright, white light of protective, loving, peaceful energy emanating straight from your heart now. Inhaling as this light continues to grow now up through your shoulders, through your neck, all the way up through your face to the top of your head. Now envisioning this beautiful, protective, radiant light coming from your entire body, all the way from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes, just really feeling this energy taking over you now. Continuing to feel this light expand with each inhale. Continuing to feel the power of peace growing within you. And once you feel as though you are completely filled with this radiant light, this vessel of love, being a light warrior yourself, we are now going to see all of that light channel directly into our heart, almost as if our heart is absorbing every single ounce of all of that radiant light now, right into your heart. And should you want to join me back with your hands on your heart, really feeling it now. Feeling it building up, growing stronger and stronger in this energetic power that you have. And when you feel you've reached your peak, you can take your hands and start to push them out and away and start to send this light. In your inhale, bringing your hands back to your heart, feeling that light growing, and on your exhale, pushing that light back out, sending it directly to the people who are in need of our love, our strength, our support. Right? Realizing we continue to bring it in, pulling it in with our breath, and once again, sending it back out into the world, knowing that we have this opportunity to spread our light wherever we choose to. Knowing that we choose to do that in this moment for the people of Ukraine. Knowing we can continue to do this any time we want to channel our energy into this light, this love, and this possibility. And now bringing your hands back to your heart. Let us take a moment to now say whatever prayer is right for you. Whatever you have left to say, to feel, to express, give yourself that permission to express it right now. And at the sound of the chime, I invite you to take one final deep inhale in, pulling in whatever feeling is going to serve you best. Holding your breath at the top. And then on your exhale, sending out whatever else you'd like to send out into this world for peace, for those in Ukraine. And with that, I invite you to lovingly and gently and graciously bring yourself back. You can wiggle your fingers and toes, perhaps even roll your neck and give yourself a twist. Whatever is going to serve you in coming back generously. Wow, so beautiful to open my eyes and see all these beautiful comments and donations. Thank you, Summer. Thank you, Blossom. Thank you, Senga and George, Amanda, Sven, Creative Players for Ukraine. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. As I mentioned, all of the donations will be sent to an orphanage that is specifically working with young people who have aged out of the system there and need the support. And so I will keep you posted in the group if you want to join our Permission to Be Human group. I will keep you posted on all of those beautiful things that are happening there. And this is an opportunity for us to continue to be the light. I will say I saw a comment earlier that said something about like, does it really make a difference? And so before I head out, and I can share this in the group too if it would be helpful, but before I head out for today, I would love to share some of the difference that this makes. And I know because I did a bunch of research of what that meant. And so I will tell you that an experiment that was conducted during a war in Jerusalem, people meditated and the deaths from the war went down by 75%. Not only did war deaths go down, but crime, traffic collisions, fires, and other destructive events also went down on the days the group meditated. From this and other similar studies that showed the war deaths and injuries went down on days groups were meditating on peace, scientists concluded the group meditation seems to prevent war. In reporting on these unexpected findings, world-renowned quantum physicist John Hyland commented, "There is far more evidence that group meditation can turn off war like a light switch than an aspirin reduces headache. It is a scientific fact." So I have like a ton more that I'm not going to share in this moment, but I'll be happy to share in the group. Should folks be interested, just let me know. And if you're interested in doing another practice like this, if you can just tell me in the comments here, interested, I'll figure out a cadence to do that. I'd also love to know, I've never done a practice like this before. I'd love any feedback. What served you? Maybe what could be modified? Okay, I'm seeing yes, please. Okay, beautiful. I will definitely do that. Okay, beautiful. I'll add some more practices. I'll tell you, in a time where I don't know what to do, it sure feels good to know that the science proves that when we come together in meditation, in prayers for peace, creating inner harmony within ourselves, that is proven to make a difference in these times. Beautiful. I'm so glad to know that folks would like to continue to do this practice. Hopefully, it's not that long that we need to continue because peace talks have happened and a shift is underway. And I have to hang on to that as the possibility, right, of really having faith in that light is greater than darkness. And there is a lot of evil in this world. There's a lot of evil. But there are so many more of us waking up to this light within us and the power within us. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being one of those people. I thank you on behalf of my host family in Ukraine. I thank you for being somebody who cares about our human experience on this earth. It's not everyone, but it sure is you. So thank you for that. And for anybody who is feeling the need to give themselves some permission to be human through this experience, whoo, I am one of those people. Join me on Thursday. Thursday is my next live, and we'll be doing the permission to be human practice. Typically, these are always Mondays and Fridays, but this Friday I have a commitment all day, and so I wanted to make sure I still had it offered. And so I invite you to join our group to continue the conversation. I'm going to share the link to Michael Bernard Beckwith's talk that really helped me when I was feeling very powerless yesterday. And I look forward to continue to being part of the possibility, the power within us that we get to choose to activate when we channel it towards peace, when we channel it towards love, when we channel it towards light, and recognize that does make a difference. That does make a difference. So again, I thank you deeply. Rose, you're welcome. I'm so glad that I wanted to give you space to do your own prayer. Yeah. I thank you for those beautiful comments. And again, thank you to all of the souls here who have made donations. I'll keep you posted in the Permission to Be Human group on when those donations go out to the orphanage. My friend who adopted her son from this orphanage is in constant contact with them and able to send them the funds electronically. So I'm going to just make the funds donation myself, knowing that it will come back around when it eventually makes its way through the Insight Timer system here. So again, I just thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Just know that you are loved, you are light, and you are a vessel of hope for everyone around you, especially yourself. So keep doing the work to get in alignment with that truth. Keep offering yourself grace and keep choosing the higher vibration, because we will make a difference. We are making a difference. I look forward to staying connected with you. Thank you, my friends.